And so I've got to have faith. I must have the focus, and I got to have the fire.
I'm so glad you joined us today. That makes you a part of CSL Dallas, and we love that our community continues to grow. And we also love to give great spiritual content. And a way that you can participate in our community is financially give to it. It's easy to do so. Go to CSLDallas.org and hit the give button. Or you can set up a text giving mechanism at 972-954-4404, a safe and secure way to send us money whenever you watch a great message like this. So thanks for giving, and buckle up, because here comes the spiritual content.
We all need a prayer all the time. We need prayers. We need prayers that remind us who we are, who we have been created to be, what it is that we want to achieve. We all need a prayer. Not because we're broken, not because we're weak. We need a prayer in order to remind us that we have the power to name whatever it is we want to experience in the world and to claim it as true. We have the power to name our best and highest good and claim it as our experience. We need a prayer in order to be able to create the life we most love. No one else can be that prayer for us. Others can see the truth. Others can use the spiritual mind treatment and use the process of prayer to support that which we are discovering and uncovering about ourselves. And our prayers help us do that. As we've been going through the service so far this morning, there have been 3 times where I've said, okay, well, I have nothing left to talk about. I mean, Kathy Novotny kind of gave you your Sunday talk for today. It's like, in the process of making and accepting pledges and the comments that were made throughout that entire process, it's like, okay, well, there's nothing else for me to talk about. So we'll see what God has to say today. This month, the theme is Prayers on Fire, and we have been talking about spiritual mind treatment, which, in case you haven't been here before or earlier this month, spiritual mind treatment is the form or the format that we use for prayer within religious science, science of mind, centers for spiritual living. It is a technology that allows us to utilize prayer as an actual method for shifting consciousness in such a way that once our consciousness has been shifted, our conditions change. The conditions, the physical, what's happening in the physical manifest universe must change because we change our consciousness. And we do that individually and we do that collectively. And our prayers and our consciousness impacts the consciousness and the experience that happens for our family, our friends, our co-workers, and even the strangers we meet as we go through our day, our week, our month, and our year. So we take prayer really seriously in Centers for Spiritual Living. We believe that spiritual mind treatment is powerful in ways that we both know and don't know, in ways that we understand and don't understand. And so this month we have been focusing on spiritual mind treatment. In the first week, Reverend Karen gave you an overview of spiritual mind treatment and all that's involved in that, and that there are 5 steps that we teach in order to help people use the technology more effectively. And last week, the focus, and then focused on step 1 of treatment. Oh, oh wait, that was Reverend Karen, and that was week 1. And Reverend Karen has a whole group of amazing people who are taking foundations right now. So if you are in one of Reverend Karen's foundations classes, please stand. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot. Yes, please stand. Okay, so what is the first step of treatment? All together. Okay, you passed. Okay, you can sit down now. So in week 1 this month, Reverend Karen talked about the overview and then also talked about recognition. And then last week, if you were here or if you watched the video, you know that we focused on step 2 of treatment, which is now everybody else in the room who knows the answer to this question. Step 2 of treatment we refer to as unification, and sometimes we refer to it as identification, but that we are one with this source that is the source of all of life, and that is what we have recognized in step 1. And then in step 2, we recognize that it has created us, each one of us individually, and all of us collectively. And so the truth is that there is no separation between any one of us and this power that has created us, this energy that has created us, this truth of energy that has not only animated us but energized us, as we talked about in the Science of Mind class this morning. And so today I get to remind you a little bit and challenge you a little bit and hopefully inspire you a little bit around step 3 of treatment. Ernest Holmes says that we cannot demonstrate beyond our ability to mentally embody an idea. That we have to be able to mentally believe and embody anything that we want to create in our lives. What we are creating in our consciousness really begins with what we mentally believe and what we mentally embody, what we choose for ourselves, what we believe is possible. And so we cannot demonstrate or experience beyond our ability to mentally embody an idea. We call step 3 of treatment our realization step, because what is happening is in step 3, as we write or speak a treatment, a spiritual mind treatment, we are describing what will be realized when this prayer is answered. What is the realization of the condition we want to experience, not the condition we want to change. And so it forces us to focus on and to mentally embody that which we want and begin to turn away from that which we do not want. And so step 3 of treatment is that place that after we have recognized that there is an unlimited power and intelligence in the universe that has created everything that is alive and that creates everything that is alive right now and will always create for eternity all that which represents life. And we go to step 2 and we recognize, wow, all of that is true and it is showing up right here as me, right here in this room as all of us, that we are that. We are all of that in physical form. Hey, then if that's true, anything that I can mentally embody can be created, can develop itself into an expression that I am describing now. So our step 3 of treatment, if you want to know about it, more about it, and you haven't already taken foundations, that's a great place to really dive in, or the spiritual practices class or the spiritual fitness class. There are always classes that are available to you to understand it more, but that's really the basis of it. That step 3 is describing the physical manifestation of that which is going to demonstrate what you want in your life. And we always speak it or write it in the present tense because we are claiming it as done. And so sometimes people have a little challenge with step 3 because they want to make it in the future. Oh, one day I'm going to move to Colorado. One day. And the universe simply says, yes, one day. Until Shane and Jesse had a conversation that was, okay, you know what? There may never be a good time. Here are some reasons now is a good time. We live in Colorado. We have thriving lives in Colorado. We have jobs and we have people around us who care about us, and there are spiritual communities where we can be actively involved. It is done. It is done. It is done. Even though at this moment we don't know how, but it is done. And within a few days, and a couple of conversations, having claimed it as true, having mentally embodied it and said, yes, this is happening, days later, hours later, Shane, willing to leave, not knowing what employment opportunities would meet him there, that question was answered in days. A couple weeks later, that question is answered for Jesse. Because they mentally embodied the idea. They claimed it as already done in the present tense, in spiritual mind treatment, and supported by other spiritual practices. It must demonstrate. And we don't know if it's going to demonstrate in 2 days or in 2 years. We don't know that. But we release it, and there are 3 things that we know will ensure that it can happen in its perfect time and timing. And that's really what I want to share with you, because when you take care of or include the 3 things that I'm going to talk about, it really does shift things for you and for me, for anyone who uses spiritual mind treatment. So, the first one is faith. Now, we talk about faith all the time. We talk about faith in a lot of different ways. But in this case, when you do a spiritual mind treatment, if you expect it to work, if you want it to work, then it is important that you stand and speak or write from a place of complete faith. Faith that there is a power for good in the universe. It is available to all and you can use it. When you are speaking your word from that place of faith, you don't get caught up in the how, because you know that the faith is what is going to make it happen. I have faith that I don't have to know how, God knows how. I have faith that I don't know all the people I need to meet along the way, but Spirit is going to have me meet or engage with those people who make this happen. I have faith that the word I am speaking is heard, is going to be responded to, and there is no doubt. Really, that kind of faith. The faith of God, not the faith in God. The faith that God has in creating everything, anything. Do you think God creates a snail and then goes, I don't know if that was such a good thing to create? Or that God creates a tree and says, what was I thinking? A tree? Nobody's going to like trees. Well, no. The faith of God that I have created something and it is good. It is from good. It is made of good. It is for good. It has a purpose. That's the faith of God. And that's the kind of faith that each one of us must have if we really want to have our prayer be on fire in step 3. We have to have the faith that there is a power that is all intelligence, all knowing, all powerful, always present, and ready to say yes to me. Well, I don't know. Let me back up. When I do a spiritual mind treatment, I have no doubt that there is a power in the universe, and it can do anything for me, as me, and through me. Now, you don't have to believe that. I'm not telling you you have to believe that. But I have found that that's the kind of faith that makes prayer work, that makes step 3 in spiritual treatment work. So the first of the 3 things to really remember is faith. It's a requirement. If you are writing a spiritual mind treatment or speaking it, and you don't even have faith, you don't believe that it's going to work, the universe is simply going to say, yes, okay, you don't believe it's going to work? Yes, I'll just make that happen for you. Because there's only one word in the vocabulary of the universe. So if your faith is that it's not going to work, the universe says yes. If your faith is it must work, it can be no other way, the universe says yes. Second secret is focus. You need clarity about what it is you're trying to create, what it is you want to experience in the world. What is your focus? What is it that you want to have instead? So those of you who have been saying, I learned about spiritual mind treatment and I took foundations and I've taken 4 of the classes, and I have to go up after service on Sunday because my prayers don't work, but the practitioners' prayers do. I just want you to ask yourself, if that is kind of what's in your mind, what are you, when you are praying, what are you clear about? What are you focused on? So often when I'm not clear about what I want, I find myself focused on what I don't want. I don't have enough money this month, and now I just got this unexpected bill. And so what I'm praying for is that my bills get paid. Or I'm praying for, at maybe the first time around, I'm praying for, I'll never get any bills again in life. Or, I'm not focused on, I may not want to just focus on paying this particular unexpected bill, although I might. But it's, what I'm focused on, or what I want to be focused on, what I want to have clarity about is, as Deepak Chopra said in answer to a question that someone asked him at the end of a talk one time, and they were like, I don't know where the money is going to come from. And Deepak Chopra said, do not worry. The money will come from wherever it is now to where it needs to be next. So my focus can be that all the money that is required for me to meet my needs and to have enough to spare and to share is on its way to me right here and right now. And I am so excited about it. I anticipate it right now. I know it is already done. It is traveling through whatever hands it needs to travel to be in my life right here and right now. That is the present tense. That's not, one day some money's going to come to me and I'll be able to pay my bills. I know it is traveling right here and now. It is changing hands. It is coming toward my bank account. I am magnetically attracting it. And oh my God, I'm so happy I got the power to do this. And Spirit is supporting me in every moment, right? I'm really clear, yeah? And not only do I have the faith, but I have the clarity and the focus which is needed so that I am actually describing what it is I want, how it will feel, because the third secret is the fire. Give me some fire, right? And the fire comes from putting feeling into it, not because you're performing, not because you're not getting God's attention. It's not because, hey, God, look at me. I really care about this. Yeah. No, you are doing fire. You are feeling exactly what it's going to feel like when this prayer is answered. And you are feeling it from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. And you are feeling it and expressing that feeling so powerfully, because whose consciousness are you changing? I'm changing my own consciousness, and if I don't have any fire, then I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it, which goes right back to number one. I'm not going to believe there is a power, and I'm not going to believe that power is working for me. And so I've got to have faith. I must have the focus, and I got to have the fire. Don't be afraid of the fire. I read spiritual mind treatments written by people in classes, and they're afraid of the fire. Often they're afraid to actually feel it, like, oh, I just can intellectually write some pretty words. You know, last week I went upstairs after service, and Christine Volkmer prayed with me and for me, and she said blah 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 blah. And it was so beautiful. I'm going to start saying that. But it's Christine's words that you can use. You can use words other practitioners and other people use, and when they really resonate with you, but use them for the right reason. Don't use them to bypass your truth and the feeling that you have, because this prayer is already answered in your mind. You've mentally embodied it. And if that doesn't make you feel good, and if that doesn't give you some kind of energy around it, then you don't really believe it. I'm guessing. And so, you'll see different people pray, and I don't mean to imply that you must be yelling at the top of your voice, although sometimes that does happen and sometimes it's needed. I can have very, very deep feeling about something in step 3 of treatment, and I could be very quiet, but I am feeling it, and I am pushing that energetic of love and truth and wholeness into every word I speak, and I may not raise my voice at all. In fact, I may be going so deep with the feeling that the words are barely coming out. But the power of that feeling is so strong, so pure, so complete, that when I take a breath, that too is fire. So faith and focus and fire are the 3 things that you must include if you want to take your step 3 of treatment to the next level, your next level. And it is always, always expanding and growing. You never get there. You are like me, like everyone, always growing deeper in your spiritual development. So in our book of the month, John Waterhouse says, the purpose of step 3 is this. If you are seeking to resolve a health issue, your step 3 may be to know that excellent, vibrant health, the natural state of being for all things, is also your natural state. If you are seeking to heal a relationship, your step 3 may be to know that joy, peace, and understanding are the natural states of being in every relationship, including yours. If you are seeking to resolve a financial issue, your step 3 may be to know that you live in an abundant and prosperous world, and that having plenty of money to do whatever you desire is the truth about you. And if you seek to have any particular object or condition in your life, your step 3 could be to know that life always supports you and your claim for whatever you desire is yours. The chapter in our book of the month about step 3 is very powerful and very practical. So if you have not yet purchased the book and you want to know and understand more about spiritual mind treatment, it's a very effective tool and resource for you, because Dr. John does a really good job of explaining each step and then also helping you figure out how to use that step in your own words, in your own way of being. Within Science of Mind, we understand that Ernest Holmes did not create anything new. What he did was he synthesized the golden thread of love and law that is described in many, many different practices. He himself says this in several different books. But what we do know is true is the one unique thing, the one thing that's different, beside our values and how we show up and how we apply. He created spiritual mind treatment as a way to truly power up your prayers. And he was very clear about it. And there is a really, really great chapter in the Science of Mind textbook about mental treatment. And he says that mental or spiritual treatment should bring into actual manifestation the health and the happiness which are mankind's normal and divine heritage. Spiritual treatment is designed to shift, to change, to deliver a different outcome through a change or a shift or a redesign of your own consciousness. Step 3 is the place where you put the fire in and you get clear about what it is that you want to demonstrate in your life and in the world around you. And once that is done, you are then ready to move into steps 4 and 5, which is exactly what you will learn about next Sunday. So please, I invite you to join me in prayer as we lock in this commitment to name and claim our good. No mistake of hearing the voice of a baby, a toddler, a young one who has not forgotten the connection with that which has created it. Everything and everyone created by this one infinite source of all of life is perfectly designed. And I celebrate this natural state of perfection as the true nature of life itself. It is what gives each one of us the power to name that which we want to experience in the world and claim it as true. Claim it as now. Claim it as the expression and the experience and the expansion of the one. So this week, we simply go forward with the clarity that is present right here in this moment, this eternal moment, seeking to express as faith, as focus, and as fire. As we speak our prayers, as we sing our prayers, as we write our prayers. Breathe now. And know that simply by requesting, by setting this intention, the universe has already said yes. And the commitment to mentally embody this with complete faith and to live in conviction with this intention is all that is asked. And so in this moment, setting that intention and agreeing with it, we ready ourselves to be fully present this week and to expand our spiritual development through spiritual mind treatment and through every other pathway. Please join me in affirming this together by repeating after me. Amen. Aho. Ashe. Amen. And so it is.